What's going on, sports fans? It's your boy, the sports reporter I pay Rayland, representing the sports arena. We are live again for the second time in less than an hour. Let's not waste no time. Let's get the crew in here. We got Believe in the Pac-12, Mike Caratanudo. We got Jake back in the building, my man Eric Wilson, and the happiest guy with the news we're going to discuss. So I'm going to come right to you first, sir. We just got off a live 20 minutes ago talking about Aaron Rodgers signing his deal. We talked about the domino effect and how it would affect all of these teams who were in search of a quarterback, with your team being one of those teams. Reports have it the Seattle Seahawks are trading Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. Your reaction, sir?
Oh, I am stoked with Russell Wilson, man. I'm just so speechless because he's a perfect QB for us that he'll have us run the football. He can make our receivers a lot better with Sutton, Tim Patrick, Noah Fant, and with Javonte Williams as his back. Let's roll into 2022.
So, Michael Caratanudo, I'm going to come to you. Everybody else here was on the live earlier. We talked about Aaron Rodgers and this massive deal. We then talked about the snowball effect. The teams that everyone kept talking about were the Denver Broncos, the Pittsburgh Steelers in need of a quarterback, the Washington Commanders. Denver has their guy. Talk about it, Mike.
No, they absolutely do. And I mean, the $200 million for 4 years. And again, sorry I missed you guys earlier, but the $200 million for 4 years. The stuff I've read online the last few minutes, I think once the Aaron Rodgers money leaked, I feel that Denver stepped this up because, as Eric knows, when we were going what's the best spot for quarterbacks last year when they weren't leaving anywhere, I said Russell Wilson to Denver isn't bad with that offense, especially once they drafted, like John said, Javonte Williams. So I think once the money came out, I really think Denver or Seattle definitely started stepping this up with Denver, maybe Denver going back and forth with Seattle, because if Aaron Rodgers was trying to leverage that kind of contract extension, Denver's been so handcuffed for a quarterback. I know John will sit there and say what they've been through. I like the Bridgewater signing last year, but we all knew it wasn't their long-term thing. So this got the dominoes rolling, the dominoes falling even faster, I should say. Once Aaron Rodgers, that quote unquote, the numbers weren't there yesterday. We all saw that didn't leak. This is a perfect, and John, I mean, to Jerry Jeudy as well. And I love that pick of Javonte Williams last year. But now, quarterback-wise, man, depending on what the NFC West does in this offseason, the AFC West may have just become the best division in football.
So here's the thing about the AFC West, right? They were a pretty good division last year, right? You're talking. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater isn't like, the name to jump off the paper, but they had a solid defense. The running game was nice. They had those young receivers, right? And everybody went, man, if they had an elite quarterback. And I kept saying, no star quarterback wants to go to the AFC West and play Mahomes, Carr, and Herbert 6 times a year. But, Jake, that's exactly where Russell Wilson has landed. Give me your immediate thoughts.
Oh, here, I'm going to go from a business standpoint, since everybody sees me as like the business one. The business person who puts all on Twitter and everywhere else. As a business, guess what? Monday nights, Sunday nights, and Thursday nights have just become the AFC West. All of them. Yeah. Every bit of them. Because, I mean, just look at those ideas. Just look at those matchups. You get there's possibilities of playoffs games, wild cards, all that stuff. There's millions and millions of dollars on the line on that now. But as far as, this is the thing, though, giving up the first-round draft picks like they did, giving up the first-rounders like they did, they're going all in. Every ounce. It's like, you got to win it now. But, the biggest thing about it is the fact he's won one before. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. Unlike some of the ones that people have thrown in all of their chips in the past, on every sport, this one's been to 2 Super Bowls. He knows what it's like. So it's a really good pickup right now.
So at the moment, I really want to know where in the hell Jake is driving to, because he was in this car an hour ago when we did this live. I know where he's driving to.
I live in Atlanta, first off. everything like that. I live in Austell. I don't want to stay in Austell, so I'm in like Sandy Springs. I'm in like Dunwoody, and plus the fact I'm also a delivery driver, so I have to make my money somehow. I have a couple days off.
So listen, we did a live earlier, right? We have a group chat, and I messaged, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers signed." Eric says, "Let's do a live." And here we are 30 minutes later, and I get the news. I just video chat Eric. I said, "Russell Wilson to Denver." And his immediate reaction was, "What the? Talk about it, Eric."
Man, I mean, I was just in shock. But, credit to you, Ray Lynn, because you said it when we were talking about Rodgers. This is the snowball effect, as Mike alluded to. We knew once the precedent had been set, we would begin to see dominoes fall. And that's exactly what has happened right now. I mean, I was very surprised because, we talked about I was stack ranking the quarterbacks in the AFC conference, all the big names that you're throwing up there. Meanwhile, in the NFC, like I said, Rodgers, Stafford, figure out the rest. Well, now Russell Wilson has said, okay, as long as I have the weapons, like a Jerry Jeudy, a Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton, who, by the way, I saw Cortland Sutton at the Combine the year that he was drafted. Let me tell you something. If Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton, I'm making a bold prediction right here, right now. If Cortland Sutton and Russell Wilson have a chemistry, Cortland Sutton will have a breakout year. I'm saying that right now. So with regards to Russell Wilson, I guess he was listening to the show, Ray Lynn, because you said it. Who wants to go play Carr, Herbert, and Mahomes 6 times a year? I guess Russell said, I'm going to answer that bell, and I'm going to go show y'all. You give me an offensive line, you give me the weapons, and mind you, a defense that is kind of a bend, don't break. I'm going to show you what I truly can do. And make no mistake about it. When it gets down to the 1 yard line, he ain't throwing that ball. Someone's running that thing in for the touchdown.
Yeah, you cannot resist the opportunity to be petty. Let's get Mike back in here. So we did a brief video chat before this, and one of the things Mike did, credit to him. Mike always says he likes to be prepared. This was a random impromptu live, but he was looking at his TV. Obviously, like all trades, it's pending health protocols and physicals and things like that. But if I understood you correctly, Russ has to okay this. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, because he had the no trade clause. I mean, that was the thing last year too, because when we started talking about this, the first thing I remember about Russ, I'm like, when they said, oh, he's riffing with Pete Carroll, I'm like, this is worse than
Oh, hey, hold on, Mike, not to cut you off. Jesus Christ, I'm reading it right now. They saying Russ denied it.
What?
I just wanted to get his reaction. Look, that is priceless right there.
Oh,
you
man,
can't beat that. That didn't really happen. That was just great. That in the moment reaction. Did you see the range of emotions? Back to you, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to the Bears.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, when he listed those teams last year, I mean, it kind of made sense. You could see what he was looking at, maybe except Eric, as we know, when Alex kept saying, why would you want to go to the Bears if you haven't been protected in Seattle? You're not getting protected in Chicago. But no, I mean, look, the second he had to approve it, the teams that came out to me because of everything that John said and that we saw, Denver has an offensive line that is very good. Denver has a defense, even getting rid of Von Miller, that they can cover. They can still get after the passer. And by the way, I just saw this from NFL Talk on Twitter. It says the Broncos obviously sending Drew Lock, and they're going to send defensive lineman Shelby Harris to Seattle as part of the trade. So, I mean, obviously this is all coming out. But, look, it makes sense for Denver because as much as we said, yes, what quarterback does Aaron Rodgers really want to go to a division where, you see Carr? We've seen the growth of Herbert. I mean, from obviously Herbert's first game until where he is now. And obviously Patrick Mahomes. So it's one of those things like, why would you want to go there? Denver was set up for it. As much as John Elway, and obviously John can attest to this too, maybe didn't find a quarterback. He's supposed to be this great quarterback that should find quarterbacks after Peyton Manning. As much as he didn't find it, they still did build a team around it to where if they get a quarterback now, good luck to everybody else in that division. I mean, it could be it's crazy how they pulled this off, but I think Aaron Rodgers dictated it. And Ray Lynn, props to you. I mean, you said last night, Ty Ray said last night, I mean, he's staying in the green and gold. And I just think once that money started to leak, Denver's like, we know he has MVP years left in him, but does it weigh out giving up more money to not maybe get other little pieces they need? And Russell Wilson, that's a perfect fit, man.
So
I still have scars from the Joe Flacco trade on my birthday.
I didn't even want to bring that up, John. I didn't want to bring that up.
Even the butt fumble.
Obviously, the talk now is going to be, right, is the AFC West the best division in football? There's a case to be made, and I had this argument out last season. The NFC West was phenomenal. The AFC West was great last year, right? Like they were very close to, like, they had 3 teams with a chance to make the playoffs. And early in the season, Denver was playing great, and everybody felt that, we just talked about this on the last live, Denver is a quarterback away. So, Eric, I'm going to come to you. When there's a team, right, and again, going back to the last live, we just saw Tampa Bay do it. They bring in a quarterback, they win a Super Bowl, right? Tampa Bay is a quarterback away. They bring them in, they win. The Rams are a quarterback away. They bring them in and win. Denver's a quarterback away. So I'm going to toss it to you, Eric. How much pressure does this put on Russell Wilson?
Oh, I mean, listen, you know what? Honestly, I don't think it's on Russ. I think it's more on the organization. You know, I think the organization, what they do moving forward with this, what they do in the draft, what they do in, you know, free agency, what they do during the season to put Russ in the best position to be successful. We just talked about it. They were one piece away from being a formidable team. Well, now they got that piece. You know what I mean? They got that piece in Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is going to be the guy who we've seen this man run literally for his life in Seattle and still finding a way to keep the play moving, keep the chains going, find a way to win. But the big talk has been over the last couple of years, build an offensive line around Russell Wilson. And they haven't been able to do that. So now you have to attend to him. Much like what Green Bay is doing with Aaron Rodgers and saying, listen, we will put everything in place to make you successful. We'll give you all the tools necessary for you to be that guy. We will pay you what you want. Get us a championship. Denver needs to do the same thing. Denver needs to be the team, to say, okay, Russ, what are your needs? And once we have that established, then I think it falls back on Russ to get the job done. Right now, it's on the organization.
So let me come over to the Denver fan, right? All professionalism aside, as a fan, how excited are you, and how excited should the fan base be? What should the expectations be moving forward? Now that let's just say this goes through, he accepts it. What should the expectations be?
Well, let's just say the expectations for the Broncos with Russell Wilson, in my opinion, would most likely be a second place team at best, just because we haven't seen him play for the organization yet. I do expect them to be at least a 9 to maybe 11 wins at best so far, just because we haven't seen him play as a Bronco. I think the priority number 1 would be draft the offensive line and try to build the defense through the draft, because we do have some key free agents, which I had said in the Aaron Rodgers contract extension talks. So I'm expecting a 11-win team at best, just because we are playing a last place schedule. But the fan base is just going to overblow it by thinking we are conference contenders winning the division.
Emotional nitwits.
Yep, exactly.
Now I'm a little thrown off that, because you won 7 games with Teddy Bridgewater, right? And this is a quarterback-driven league, and you land a guy who, although he hasn't won an MVP, he's been a perennial MVP candidate for the last 4 to 5 years, right? He has a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 of them. I love you curbing your expectations and the enthusiasm, but I would think that you're right. The fan base is going to be a lot more excited. But Jake, you called them nitwits. Why is that? Talk to me.
Emotional nitwits. I have a saying online. You haven't seen me a lot yet, Ray. I've just gotten to know you just recently. I have a term called emotional nitwit. I've been using it for the last 5 years or so. It's based off the
Yeah.
idea that a person that is normally intelligent, basic intelligence and smarts, let their emotions get in the way over stupidity, over sports or anything else. So they'll go over the top based off of that and say it's good. Oh, we're going to win for the next 5 years. And then they'll quit on the team if they lose one game. That's why I call it emotional nitwit. So, they let themselves go over the top.
Oh yeah,
that's fandom in a nutshell, right? That's sports fandom in a nutshell. Everyone's emotional, right? That's just how it goes.
I've been calling it that for 5 years.
So let me ask you a question, Mike Carrottenuto. I'm going to come to you. I've said that the Seattle Seahawks were very successful when the game plan was, we're going to run it down your throats with Marshawn Lynch, and then that Legion of Boom is going to make sure you can't do what you have to do. I said this about Russell Wilson. I said it about Ben Roethlisberger, right? When the Pittsburgh Steelers, when it was Jerome Bettis and Willie Parker, and we're going to run it 30 times a game, and our defense is going to stop you. But no sooner than those guys became the backyard, quarterbacks throwing it all over the yard, the team didn't have the same kind of success. So what do you say to somebody that says Russell Wilson hasn't proven that as an elite leader of an offense that his team can have that kind of success? What do you say to that?
Well, I say it's crazy because we all saw, and we talked about this last night, like he's one of those quarterbacks that, when we talked about Aaron Rodgers, doesn't take hits. He's running away. He's running, but he's not taking hits. And early in his career, and you're right. I mean, their recipe was to run the ball and Russell Wilson to make throws when he needed to, which as he grew, he was able to. I mean, you go to, you win one Super Bowl, you're inches away from giving it to Marshawn Lynch and winning a second Super Bowl early on in your career. But I think you got to love the signing. I mean, I know obviously Denver is a tough place to play. Outdoors, it's obviously different than Seattle. It's cold up in Seattle, cold in Denver. So that's really, I don't think, going to bug him. But yeah, I mean, he's not going to take the hits. And yes, but Denver has those pieces around. To answer your question, I mean, you keep seeing more. And I will say this, another thing that came up from and you're talking about facing quarterbacks, right, Raylan? A Colts fan on Twitter said next year the Colts face Mahomes, Herbert, Wilson, Carr, and Dak Prescott. So if a team's in need of a quarterback whose defense can keep it in games and keep it close, and you're playing all those guys, the Colts now need a quarterback too, because Carson Wentz isn't the answer. But look, dude, this is huge for Denver. I love it. I think Russell Wilson can do it.
Hold on, Mike. I'm sorry to interrupt. We just saw in chat Noah Fant. Is he a part of the package deal going to Seattle?
It says an offensive play. It said a key offensive player.
Hopefully
someone just posted in our chat Noah Fant is going to Seattle as part of this package deal. I don't know how this if this is in fact factual, but that speaks volumes to me.
Eric, it is. I just saw another thing on NFL Talk. It says the Broncos trade 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, QB Drew Lock, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant. Seahawks trade Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick.
Wow.
I don't feel surprised, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, you drafted Noah Fant to be in the 1st round, and his expectations are up and down. He's had solid games, but it's just like you draft a tight end in the 1st round where you could get one like a George Kittle in the 5th. And also he's not like a good run blocker either.
So I would say this much, right? You don't get elite Hall of Fame talent for free, right? Eric, we go back to your Philadelphia 76ers when people said they gave up too much for Harden. No, they didn't. That's James Harden. This Russell Wilson we talking about. If I'm not mistaken, last I checked, I think he has the 2nd highest quarterback rating, passer rating in NFL history. It's Aaron Rodgers than him, if I'm not mistaken. Touchdown to interception ratio and passer rating, he's up there, and we know what he can do, extending plays, moving with his feet. He's the total package of a quarterback, right? So you ain't getting him for free. And if Noah Fant is the price, then you pay that price. I wouldn't. That doesn't surprise me or throw me at all. But Eric, you seem like you don't like that move. Talk to me about it.
Well, I don't like the move just because I believe in Noah Fant. I saw what Noah Fant was and what he could be with the right quarterback. You know what I mean? I think in the right system, Noah Fant could be a top tier, not all-star, not elite. He's got to still show it to me, but at least a top tier tight end. So, for them to give him up says to me, again, like I said, the organization is making moves to give Russell Wilson what he needs so that Denver is in the best position. Can I call this the LA Rams or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers effect? You call it what you want to call it. But I feel as though what we see in the draft, what we see in the offseason, training camp, and before the free agency deadline is up, what we see Denver do is going to speak volumes to me. Because if they make moves like what Tampa did 2 years ago, what the Rams did last year, then we have to start talking about teams now basically embodying the NFL, which stands for not for long. We are going to see people create these Madden-esque teams, if you will, because they're like, listen, this is our moment. This is our shot. This is our all-in move.
I would say this much. I believe them giving up Noah Fant says more about them believing in Tim Patrick, Jared Jeudy, and Cortland Sutton. You still have Javonte Williams. You still have Melvin Gordon. They have a ton of offensive weapons to put around him. And if everybody's healthy, I'm not going to say they won't miss Noah Fant at all, but they won't miss Noah Fant at all. So let's talk about this aspect of it, right? We just said earlier, Aaron Rodgers is over there in the NFC, and I'm not going to say it's smooth selling, but we just talked about all these great quarterbacks in the AFC. How much tougher did the AFC just get? Talk to me, Jake.
I'll tell you this, very, very tough. They got very tough, and they're one of those four. I mean, I'll say it, one of the four now, especially like when the Raiders got, unceremoniously got rid of John Gruden, which they needed to do, and he's gone. And I always said they weren't going to make a playoffs until he was gone, and I was right. Now all four can make playoffs. All four have a chance. And they're going to be the best. They're going to be the best division in football. But I'll tell you who won this. Agents. Other agents won this one. And I'll tell you why. Biggest thing is when you were going, whoever was going to go to the to that AFC West, that was not Russell Wilson. Anybody else was going to be the worst quarterback in that division, no matter how good they were or not. They were going to be the worst. Now, any other team that people go to, there's a possibility of them being at least the second best in that division in some of those divisions. So now they have a chance to go get some real money. So there's the agents are the winner on this one also, and so is Russell Wilson.
Eric Wilson, to steal a page out of your book from the earlier live, the biggest winner in all of this is Matt Ryan, right? Like, nobody came to the NFC South. So he gets to reign supreme as the best quarterback in a very weak division. Another big winner in all of this, the NFC East. Like, none of these guys came to Washington so far, right? So with that, now with Aaron Rodgers signing and Russell Wilson possibly going to Denver, it's looking like he agrees he goes to Denver. With that, now for those teams that we say are a quarterback away, right? Those teams that we say that's all they're missing. And Denver was the team that kept coming up, but now Pittsburgh is still out there. Washington is still out there. Mike Cartuno, I'm going to come to you. Who's the best quarterback left on the market?
Well, I'll go with the quarterback that's won the most, that everybody, we see he's won the most, and that's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, the guy wins games. Look, it takes the full team, as we know, but Jimmy Garoppolo wins games. So, and like I just saw that tweet, like I said, from a Colts site saying that all the quarterbacks they play next year. You got a guy like Jimmy G that has been to now 2 Super Bowls in the last few seasons, a Super Bowl, a few NFC championships, and his health would be key in that. Can he stay healthy? But man, I'll tell you what, if I'm somebody like the Colts who's got a defense, are they not the exact mirror image of what Denver was last year before they signed? I mean, they went after Bridgewater, as we talked about. They had Drew Lock. They went, okay, Bridgewater can hold the ship. So to me, Jimmy Garoppolo now benefits, and team actually benefits from that, because we know that, yes, the Niners would have to trade him, but still at this is insane that's coming out of my mouth, Raylan, but for $25 million to be a cheap quarterback for next year that can win you games, like Jimmy Garoppolo now becomes like, is Washington going to go hard after him? I mean, they need a quarterback. Is Washington, going to try what they did a few years ago and then find somebody in the draft? Do they want a Kenny Pickett?
Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers too. The same thing. No, you're right.
That's the crazy thing though, because Steelers. We were just talking about this last night. We were predicting that Russ was going to go to the Steelers. I think John said that. I think John Shear said that last night. Like Russell Wilson was going to go to the Steelers, and now all of a sudden he's in Denver. So it's like, okay, now we still have these teams. We have Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. Washington needs a quarterback.
Indianapolis,
the entire NFC South.
Giants.
The Giants. I mean, listen, let's talk about true needs here, not guys that are already in place and we're just like, no, you're a bum. I'm just saying they need to pick up on these people. Because listen, I love Tyler Heineke, but he's not the answer. We all know this.
Oh, God.
All right. I'm just curious how Drew Lock. Can we flip the script for a moment? How's Drew Lock going to fit into a Pete Carroll system where you're running for your life if they don't build that offensive line? Drew Lock is not Russell Wilson. He is not that mobile guy. That offensive line, last I checked, hasn't changed much.
No.
Okay. So what is Drew Lock going to do when he has to run and scamper for his life? We talk about Joe Burrow getting knocked down 9 times. If Seattle does not address the offensive line, Drew Lock will not play a full season in Seattle.
Injuries, you're going to get a top 5 draft pick, and a guy that has been in basically now his 3rd offense since he's been drafted. And he has shown in the pros that he cannot adjust to a new system. With Rich Scanglio to Pat Shurmur, now he's going to be under whatever offensive system the Seahawks have. And this honestly puts Pete Carroll on the hot seat. Having no Russell Wilson to carry you to possible 9 to 10 wins, yeah, you're screwed.
Well, but I think, John, I agree with you on that in a way. But, I mean, the way him and John Schneider rebuild teams and the way they've drafted, I mean, we saw it even, when Russell Wilson was on a rookie deal, like Raylan said, and we've all talked about this since that CBA years ago when they slotted first-round players and even quarterbacks to where you're not going to get $50 million guaranteed, not even having played one down in this league. So, look, him and John Schneider can build it up. When you get two first, 2 seconds, and a 5th. I mean, obviously, now they have 2 first-round picks this year. If I'm looking at that, and then they'll have
they have 1 first-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year. Right,
but Seattle has their own first-round pick too. So that's what I'm saying.
That's right.
They're going to have 2 in the first round this year and next year. So look, we know Pete Carroll's always been committed to defense. In this day and age, yes, you have to have studs. Now, call me crazy on this, and
you're crazy, Mike.
Okay, but and I am. But if you connect the dots, Von Miller's a free agent. That's a Pete Carroll kind of defensive guy. Now, the Rams probably can't afford to re-sign him if he wants to take crazy amount of less and stay there and run it back. I mean, look, all that has to play out. I'm just saying, if you could get a guy like Von Miller and you show, you add, like everybody said, if you take 2 offensive linemen in that first round, yeah, they might have their bumps and bruises, but you just put yourself in phenomenal position along with the Giants and Philly. I mean, and we know that they have 2 high first-round picks. We talked about this on the show. So, I mean, if you're Seattle right now, if 2 guys can rebuild and evaluate talent, I will trust Pete Carroll because to him, I think it is a pride thing. You were on top, like Raylan's, like we said, for so long. And even when Russell Wilson still got his contract, you had that defense. And the secondary started becoming unhappy. And as we saw, all that soap opera went out the door. So, I mean, look, can they do it? Yes. Is it going to be tough to do in that division? 100 million% yes, because of what is still there in the division. And is Trey Lance going to be the Niners quarterback? Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be back? I mean, that's the crazy part of it.
Let's look at a different point of view really quick because nobody else wants to say it. So I'll be the one to say it. We're talking about quarterbacks. Nobody else wants to point this out but me. Nobody else wants to point this out but me. Anybody ever seen these 2 people in the same place at the same time? I haven't.
You know what? I'll take it.
Mysick isn't shaving, though. That's the difference.
So, Jake, I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf is at home. He sleep. He wakes up, turns on the news, and see that his quarterback is gone. His reaction should be what?
And then there's Drew Lock. It's like calling his agent immediately. He wants a different quarterback, or he wants a different team.
I think he's the biggest loser in this, right? Like Eric,
oh my God, bigger loser than those ones that lost 600 pounds on that TV show. But
yes.
but no.
No, I'll tell you who the biggest loser is. Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, that's true. But no,
more so than Metcalf. I say Tyler Lockett is the biggest loser in this. I just wanted that was just it. I just feel Tyler because they've had a connection a lot longer than DK and Russ have, and Russ knows that in a pinch, Tyler going to get what he needs. Tyler's going to get him the job. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Don't get me wrong. DK Metcalf is a stud. He is a beast. He is a man amongst boys at sometimes of the game. But if I had to give him a security blanket, my go-to guy, I think is Tyler Lockett. I think Tyler Lockett is the one definitely on the phone with his agent saying, yo, ship somebody else, get me to Denver, watch what I can do because I need to be with my man Russ.
Yeah, I would venture to say that every receiver in Seattle is on the phone with their agent saying, man, get me the hell out of here. Get me out of here. Right? No, like that's when we see people get traded, right? Like Von Miller last year. It's like, man, went to sleep this record, woke up this record. Like you went to sleep with Russell Wilson as your quarterback and woke up with Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough.
Especially in the 3-hour time zone. But one of the biggest issues you were talking, I wanted to bring up the thing with Jimmy G for a second. When people forget, there'll be people that talk about this with because G isn't the greatest, but as you brought up, he wins games.
Yeah.
The thing about Jimmy G, and this is what a lot of coaches are going to look at, and I noticed this little part. He is not the greatest. Like for instance, that last play that got to the Rams to the Super Bowl, he tried tossing it up middle of nowhere. He has the capability of making stupid plays like that. He always has. Yep. But he's also that guy who he could be struggling all game long to do a 3-play 80-yard just like that. He usually does wonderful in 2-minute drills. You know, he has a certain stability, which guess what? I think the thing that's keeping him alive in the West Coast is he's got those Hollywood looks. Only difference because if he looked like Matthew Stafford and played like Drew Lock, he'd be in trouble.
Yeah, but the one thing too, and Ray Lynn, I know you always say this is that wins and losses. It's funny that we make it a quarterback stat, but that narrative is still out there, and we talk about it all the time. You see the experts on TV, the analysis saying, "Oh, he wins games." Well, Jimmy Garoppolo's record when was in the lineup for San Francisco, they win games. I'm just saying if you put him with in Indianapolis to where he's not going to have a game, and to follow up on Jake's point, I don't think he's going to have a game like Carson, even though Carson Wentz didn't play defense, and I blame the defense for that game in Jacksonville. He's not going to have a game like Carson Wentz in Jacksonville. He won't. I mean, look, the play where and I agree with you, Jake. I mean, he just hucked that ball up. It was his best. Actually, it was his best Carson Wentz imitation from earlier in the season when Wentz did that against Tennessee. But I will say this: Jimmy Garoppolo wins games, and to me, that's interesting. Now, is he Russell Wilson? No, we obviously get that. God, no. So I mean, that's the thing. But look, for both of those Seattle receivers to touch on that point real quick, Raylan. I mean, Lockett had 75 receptions for over 1,100 yards last year. Metcalf had I think 73 for just 967, so just under 1,000. Look, Russell Wilson did that again with protection, especially throughout the season, breaking down and getting worse. They were able to run the ball a little bit. So they were able to run the ball somewhat decently. But if they don't address that offensive line, Russell Wilson can put up those great numbers because he's never been below, I think, 63% completion percentage in his career. So Russell Wilson, I mean, and even 2 years ago in 2019, before everything went crazy, he was a 4,000-yard passer. So, look, he can do it. And somehow with no offensive line, they did it. His mobility helped him out. He started taking more sacks and getting more cranky, as any quarterback, as we know, would. But Drew Lock, again, if you run the ball, I mean, look, the kid's got some talent. I know, John, you're happy there in Denver that obviously he's not your quarterback going into next year, and you upgrade and get Russell Wilson for the next few years. But look, I mean, yes, and I know the next like the NBA, Ray, I know it's going to drive you crazy. We're going to talk about, by tomorrow who won this trade without anything being played. Well, yeah, obviously everybody's going to say Denver won the trade, but those picks for Seattle, I mean, we'll see what they are.
So, John, let me ask you. You got your guy, right? Mm-hmm. You got your guy. You got Russell Wilson. Most of us believe with Aaron Rodgers off the market, he was the best available quarterback left. But I think I asked Jake this question earlier. It might have been Mike, but I'm going to toss this around for whoever didn't get the opportunity to answer it yet. Yep. With Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson now off the market, who is the best quarterback left available?
It probably would be Matt Ryan, but as you guys mentioned, the NFC South is basically a weak division. I mean, Tom Brady's not there. Sean Payton's not there. I have no idea what's going on with the Panthers with Matt Rule, especially when they have all that talent they have. Another option would be, sadly, Mitch Trubisky. Jimmy Garoppolo would be another one. Depends on if a team is going to take on, his body going to last for 17 games or maybe more than half the season.
Yeah, let me say this, John. There isn't I'm saying this part right here. There's only been one coach Trubisky played with, and it's that piece of garbage, Nagy.
That's true.
Absolute garbage, Nagy. And the thing is, and the guy absolutely dive bombed that guy, and he still won 29 games. And we were just going to bring up what Care Denudo said. He still got 29 games, and without Trubisky, Nagy won 8. Even with Fields, with a player that was better. The reason is, and I will bring this part. The reason is because Trubisky is not a Hall of Famer. He is he's not a star. But let me say this part. He is somebody that if something is breaking down the way all of Nagy's offense broke apart, the way it always did, he would dump it off. And he would get the ire of Nagy because hell, Foles and Nagy had fights because he'd drop it off, or he'd get sacked. And the thing is, he would drop it off, but it moved the ball. Everybody else, other than maybe Foles, tried to save the play, and they wouldn't.
And Jake, look at this too. The Trubisky. I mean, if I'm him, and again, I don't know if they signed more than a 1-year deal with Buffalo this past season. But
it was 1 year. He's a free agent.
If I'm him, I go back to Buffalo. And here's why. Because when he came in games, when Josh Allen, obviously they took him out towards the end of the season. But, I mean, when he played running in an offense with tools, again, I'm not going to, could he strive to be a Hall of Fame quarterback? I mean, maybe, because you're right. He got away from the Bears, got away from Nagy, and everybody loves Nagy. By the way,
everybody loves Nagy like everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah, the Chiefs rehired him too. I don't know if you guys saw that. I saw that it just kind of slid by last week. I think.
No. Yeah, because you want to know the reason Nagy got him back? Because he got his Uber driver now. He got his Uber driver back. Get his food.
There you go. No, but I mean, if I'm Trubisky, I stay in Buffalo. I mean, and again, I think Buffalo would love to have him as a backup because just that year in Buffalo behind Josh Allen for him to breathe and reset. Because I do think he got blamed for some unfair stuff in Chicago and having, like I said, Matt Nagy's just offensive
and crap fans.
Yeah, exactly. And quarterback whisper. So look, I mean, if I'm Trubisky, I stay there. But here's another thing too. I will say this about we're talking about the NFC South. Ray Lynn, if Jameis Winston does re-sign with the he's got to go through rehab. I get it. He re-signs with the Saints, though. I mean, look, depending on who the Bucs get, that could be that he could run away with that division.
I don't disagree. I like this comment that Tyler made down here. And again, now with those two guys off the board, whatever kind of backlash you think you're going to get, whatever risk comes with it, at this point, you go after Deshaun Watson. He has to be the best available name left. I see you down there, John. Talk to me.
You know what's funny about that that whole Watson transaction thing was last year I posted up saying one of the things that Denver should not do is trade Watson, but it was more for on the field play where you kind of felt like there were some games where he couldn't get the job done. And 9 days after I posted that, all those allegations came up, which was very like whoa, that was just like surprising.
Well, Ray, you weren't, you didn't know me during the time of, and I'm just saying this part, you didn't quite know me not quite there yet, during the time that this whole Watson came up. I saw that whole thing from the get-go before it went out to the press. Saw the deal, and I was saying Tony Busby is bullshit. This is a lie. I don't believe in it. I'm sorry. And it's been 2 years, and I'm still saying it. I think this is something he's going to have to sue over, go after Busby, and go try to break McNair. I really believe that they just tried dive bombing him because he wanted to go.
Yeah.
All right. So this was a random live. We're gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna use my timer and my little 30-second counter, especially for Michael Caratanudo. Man, you know that's love, brother. You know how that is. So listen, on my blog page, and this isn't a plug, I did this post almost 3 weeks ago. I made this post 3 weeks ago, and we're gonna close with a question based on this post. This is the post I made 3 weeks ago. That's from 3 weeks ago, right? We're looking at Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Still got Deshaun Watson in Houston somewhere, right? And now you add Russell Wilson to that mix. So, Jake, I am going to come to you first.
Okay.
Russell Wilson is the blank best quarterback in the AFC.
Third. Because you've got I was going to say this right now because I'm going to say Mahomes and Herbert, and then we got Wilson. And the thing about Burrow is I love Burrow, but he gets until he proves he's not going to get absolutely murdered and they start protecting him. I don't know how his knee is going to hold up. So I'm just going to I'm going to say third right now.
Michael Caratanudo.
Wow.
Russell Wilson is the number what quarterback in the AFC?
Man, I don't think it's a shot at him, but after the 5 you just showed, I'm going 6. You know I love Josh Allen. Obviously, Mahomes is Mahomes. I love Allen. Lamar Jackson, when you have a healthy team, I mean, the non-healthy team around him this year, no running game, and they still held water with injury after injury. So I'm going to go with 6th. But, man, I mean, it's like maybe it's like 1 with 6 degrees of separation.
John Micey, talk to me, sir.
I think Russell Wilson is the third best QB, as what Jacob mentioned.
Wow.
I think it's more of like the Chiefs with Mahomes and the Bills with Josh Allen, obviously at the top for the AFC. Justin Herbert probably needs the hype going down because he's been only third in that division since his arrival. And I don't know about Joe Burrow's leg going to hold up. And Lamar Jackson is a hell of a quarterback if he's healthy.
So, Ray, real quick, Dom says, on what planet is Herbert better than Allen? I'm not saying better than Allen, but everybody that disrespects Herbert, like didn't watch him play in college. And let's remember, 10 minutes before the Chiefs game started last year, he came in at quarterback and went toe to toe with the defending Super Bowl champs at the time, and he's gotten better ever since. So you get protection around Herbert. If you're not going to say he's better than Allen, like I said, it could be one with like 1 A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, whatever. But Justin Herbert is right there. People, and I know you recognize it, but people need to recognize that.
I love Allen. Let me say this. I love Allen, but he was known as somebody who overthrew people by 5 yards. He never had a 60% career or 60% year in any year, high school, college, or anything before last year. And now he's a stud. That was Dable. What will he do with the new offensive coordinator?
Dude, all right. We'll see, but Josh Allen's money.
He is money. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying what will he do? So I can't say that. Yeah, I love him, but I'm just saying that.
What you got, John?
I do want to mention with the Josh Allen thing is, 1, he was raw, but 2, Buffalo did not have a good receiving core when he came into the league. Not even a close one. His number 1 receiver in his rookie year, Calvin Benjamin. His second year, Cole Beasley.
Yep.
You can't say I could make an argument that Allen did not have the best receivers upon his arrival, But when the Bills start putting in an offensive line and put receivers in his lap, that's where he used the potential.
Yeah.
And just to mention with Herbert came in with the talent. Josh Allen had to work his way up. So I would say it's more of the speed of the development that makes Herbert, for Mike's sake, the better QB from Allen. So, yeah.
I'll say this, and I don't fault John nor Jake at all. But Michael Cartenuto, you, sir, I'm going to tell John, shame on you for not bringing up Tua in this conversation. I'm going to tell John Shearer that you didn't bring up his quarterback in this conversation. You were supposed to go to bat for his guy. You're supposed to tell us how great Tua is. No, but on a serious note, because we're talking about
that's Shearer's job. That's
and
Shearer's
not
job.
Yeah, you know I can't say that. They don't have
I
a
will say
order.
this much. I will say this much about Russell Wilson, right? I think he has to go into that bag and have one of those, oh, y'all must have forgot seasons. That's what needs to happen, because I think people forgot how good he really is, right? We talk about the NFC West as the toughest division in football. He got hurt last year, and before he got hurt, he still had that team playing well. Even after the Legion of Boom fell apart and went away, he kept Seattle competitive, right? To me, it's Mahomes, Josh Allen. In fact, it's Mahomes, and then Josh Allen and Russell Wilson are right there, and then it's the rest of those guys. I know Herbert is phenomenal, has a great arm talent. I know Joe Burrow was just in the Super Bowl, but Russell Wilson is a proven quarterback in this league. Again, it's Mahomes in a class by himself, and Josh Allen has to show me last year again before I can say he's closing the gap on Mahomes. But Russell Wilson has shown us this year in and year out. It's the reason why he was at the top of the list of quarterbacks that would be sought after in this offseason. So I have him as 2B in the AFC, and that's where I see it.
Hey, wait, Lynn. This just broke from Aaron Rodgers on Twitter. It said, and it's from his confirmed account. It says, hey, everyone, just wanted to clear something up. Yes, I will be playing with the Packers next year. However, reports about me signing a contract are inaccurate, as are the supposed terms of the contract I signed. I'm very excited to be back. # year 18.
Listen, man.
Adams,
like I said last year, not last year, last night.
Yep.
Or I just said it, last night. Here we are, off season, and there's drama with Aaron Rodgers again. What else is new, right? What else is new? It wouldn't be an off season if Aaron Rodgers didn't give us drama. Listen, I know you gentlemen have busy lives just like I do. Appreciate y'all taking some time out y'all day. If we do some more news break 3 hours from now and Jake's still in that vehicle, we gonna have a problem. Again, appreciate y'all. Jake,
I'm going
John.
back home. I'm going back home now.
Hey, it's been a great show. Like I said,
I'm going back
appreciate you
home.
guys coming to hang out with me here on the Sports Arena. And we will catch y'all again tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Or you can catch the Sports Arena live on Roku. Yes, we are on Roku now. So you can catch us there. It's at 4 a.m. You know, you can get up and check us out. Please do that. Till next time.